So this is actually a question that I've been asking myself ever since I started making long form videos, which I love doing that, and I hope that the audience realizes that that's what I'm doing, and stuff like that. So, well, um, as we know that there's something that I'm a little curious about, and that is superhero fatigue. I don't want to say superhero fatigue because that's a big word in controversy. Uh, Because, as honestly, as a comic book fan of anything, well, not anything, but certain things, because I have not seen the boys. But all that I do know is that I have seen some Star Wars things. I've seen Marvel things. I maybe or had saw um, some Mortal Kombat stuff, DC, um, stuff like that. And it goes back to ask myself, you know, well, when it went down to like, the 2020s of just anything movies overall within pop culture, um, like as honestly, uh, I mean, I really don't know. It just makes it a stop to think, like, if you're that dedicated of a fan to this kind of um, side of Hollywood, um, it's gonna turn into something that like when you think about it, in like let's say like a 2021, 2022, uh, 2023, those couple of years there, those 3 years, uh, basically more on the live action side of the comic book genre hasn't really been the best. But that's only for Marvel's side of things. I'm not saying overall in general, but that's a different story. So that's mainly what this video is mainly about. Just like how interesting it is that why that when you go back like 25 or mainly like 20 years ago, like we got the most highest grossing films. Well, I don't want to say highest grossing, but somewhat highest grossing films of all time within the time that comic book movies has developed year by decade and whatever year, has really changed, and that's what this is all about. So that's what we're going to talk about. So if you have not yet, as always, and I highly encourage you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to not only this video but this channel. And even so, I would love for some fan questions or fan mainly anything, like just mainly is just what kind of video you guys want me to make, and which I would love to know and all that. So with that being said, let's get started. So this came upon, well, like when I first made my Avengers Doomsday Part 2, well, or should I say what was gonna be Part 2, but I guess, well, we did not get that. They did say August 27th as the date. And again, this is why I'm so glad that I'm making this now, just like 20 something years of, people like me that put this stuff out to the internet, because it's our thoughts, it's our opinion. We can form our own opinion, and that's okay. Somebody's gonna say, you're wrong. But again, it's more than that. It's basically sports. It's basically TV. Also, so not only sports and TV, but also reality, like where we are right now. That goes with beliefs in religion as well, which also fits perfectly in there. When you dive more deeper into those things, you can still talk about movies all year around, no matter what it is, rather if it's a comic book movie or rather if it's a non-comic book movie. So this video is mainly for fans that understand that there's more to life than just watching movies and stuff like that. And to tell you, well, only certain movies I would definitely would see, but those are the kinds of things that makes a fan like me tick. Like we want to, we're power hungry info. We really want to see this, stuff like that. Again, I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and again, that's a year old. Like, think about that. I mean, that movie was more than just a Deadpool and Wolverine film. It was a full-fledged Fantastic Four. And the entirety of the 2000s of the very beginning of the Marvel Universe, as you know. And that's why it's called Phase Zero in the first place. And again, I know I haven't brought it to light and day with this channel yet, but I made a very interesting way to watch all of the MCU films compiled with the 20th Century Fox and the Sony stuff, Spider-Verse, the whole shebang, including Venom. And only Venom, nothing else. No Madam Web, no Craven, none of the. But you guys kind of know what I mean. So again, hopefully when you watch this video, you know what I'm talking about. There's something else that I just thought of, and that's people in the industry. So you want to be really, really, really careful on the things that you read, and just just things in general, which I hope that's helpful, because you see this thing called Marvel Updates, and I don't know if anything that they put out is real or not, which is one thing. It's like they're going to say, oh hey, it's confirmed that X person is going to be in Avengers Doomsday, or oh, we're going to get this and we're going to get that, that is your non-average Doomsday kind of thing. And again, that's how Hollywood can be. They take things out of context and they just don't really look at the actual source and just say, okay, is this real? And that's really unfortunate, because basically no one does that. And hopefully you guys can agree with me too. But for your normal average film, something like The Quiet Place, or something like that, or something like, I don't know, like the next Mario film, stuff like that. It's like you go and you open your X, and you're scrolling, and you see all these different people, all these different sources saying this, saying that, blah, 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 blah. Like the whole Jackie Chan thing, like I mentioned yesterday on TikTok and all those other media platforms. That's why it's really, really, really dangerous um, out there these days. And you gotta really understand what is really going on in this world. And common sense in having that and telling people how you feel is something that we all need, and not other Niagara Fall, biatch. Not sorry, I had to say that, but still, I just don't get it. I honestly don't. And again, this is for people in the field of content creation, or just in general, like creating something. When you create a video, you're basically just making videos, yes, and you're making your point. It's okay to make your point. Some people won't like your point, and they're just gonna understand to just roll with it, and just make a joke or something to make them to not even quote unquote say much about it. But like I said, being a creator is like especially in that world of media. Like I said, going back to the previous clip, you gotta be really careful with the things that you say, because that might affect someone. And to me, honestly, again, I'm trying to be less of a creator where basically is on a every once in a while basis you make a video and you wait. No, I'm your average content creator, where basically I'm more of a social media influencer, only sharing my opinion, which is okay, but seeing the likes that people like what I think is something that I don't really get to say every day. But a lot of people, excuse me, don't think the same way I do, which I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna learn to be okay with that. Which, after watching other different content creators, like Matt Ramos, we know that he controls the name of Soups, the Escape podcast, with Andrew and what's his name there. Then you get Warren over at the Cosmic Wonder, stuff like that. That talks about these things in pop culture. And like I said, due to like the middle or the beginning half of this video, like I said, then you get your Christian influencers, which is interesting because I also fall into the same category, like what I said with pop culture. Because that's film, sports, stuff like that, shows, or should I say entertainment, with basically the word I'm looking for. But now, with religion and the Bible, and basically, not really the word of preaching God, but I just like inspiring people with a piece of advice and learnings from God. It's basically what I'm trying to do. And also, it's okay to have more than one thing to talk about, or something I like to show is basically my life, and things that I do, people I'm with, food that I eat, and I tell people about my time that I spent with my Lord and Savior, and me yes, again, we are all a work in progress, and that's okay. So when it goes down to, like, the pop culture guy in me, yeah, you see that, like, a lot of my content that you see, but that's really it. That's just, again, that's my whole point. Hopefully you guys like this video, and again, hopefully you kind of agree with me. So yeah. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Uh, as usual, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe with all notifications turned on. And as always, make sure you also do me the kind favor to even send me your advice or an idea for a video in the comments down below, or just a word of encouragement, which I will love that. Or just maybe if you guys agree with me on some things, I'd love to see that in the comments too. So yeah. Anyways, guys, have a great day, and yeah, have a good one.